It never ends. My housemate of several decades at this point um, went into the hospital because he was in the kitchen making a burrito, um, and something happened, and he fractured his tibia around his ankle. So he went into the hospital, had several other things dealt with, and is going to be coming back to the house in just a couple of days. He's been out of the house for about a month, I think. Um, the thing is, he is a non compliant type 2 diabetic. One of his feet literally only has one toe. He wears these big boot things to keep his collapsed arches in place. He's not really all that great about taking care of himself, and hasn't for years. I gave up taking care of him for any aspect years ago. But because he has to be non weight bearing for the next 3.5 months, I have just cleaned out his room, put it back together again, put mom's medical bed in place of the falling apart bed that he had, um, giving him a little bit more room. I found boxes of there was one box that was only the gel pack freezer things from the insulin that is sent to him. He wasn't getting rid of them, he was just popping them into a box. And that box was right next to a box that was literally full of only paper napkins from takeout. Found the floor. There's less stuff in the room. The knee scooter thing can get in and out. There's still work to do, and I'm so happy for the people who came over and helped. Fur's been a godsend, goddess send. He was sent. Keeping my brain together and being able to haul the bed downstairs with our friend. But while I was taking my shower afterwards, it just hit me. The last few years was really difficult dealing with my mom, but I really miss her. And taking the bed that she had used for the last 5 years into a different space in the house. It's still in the house, but it was her bed. It's going to be difficult. I am holding on. But it's one of those things that I'm not sure what's going to be happening next, and that uncertainty is making me on edge. I've been trying to deal with the paperwork having to do with mom's will and such, and the people who know how to do it have been saying, oh, it's easy, just do this and this and this. And half the time it doesn't match up with what I actually have to fill out and submit. And having to fill out and submit things that need to go with other things, but the thing that it needs to go with has to be submitted first, but I but piece by piece I was able to deal with the ambulance bill on A level, sent them back the information they needed for the insurance because the hospital evidently did not give them the information. Every time I fill out the same damn thing, I realize HIPAA is there to keep people from running off with personal information, things like that. But it's just every time I fill out one of these pieces of paper, so, don't you share between departments? It's just, yeah. Every time there is an upset in the house, it gives me an opportunity to look at why I am upset by whatever's going on and try to work towards evening out my own reactions, balancing how I am doing. But it's so difficult. And Fur's been a really bad influence. I personally have not had more than the equivalent of a beer a month for years now because I could not have alcohol around Fiona. Mom's meds would react to the alcohol, but also one of the things that people do not realize about many forms of dementia, the very thin veil of filter that people have when they have dementia goes away. And alcohol, it allows really bizarre interactions. You know, that whole I love you, man, when you've got a bunch of people together and they're drunk and something happens and they're being heartfelt and such. Think about that in a 89-year-old woman with dementia, 2 o'clock in the morning, and evidently that's when the alcohol hit. That happened several times. I would give her a little cocktail with dinner to help with pain because her pain management skills sucked. I would help. I would try to give her pills, and she didn't have the internal memory of, yes, pain is bad, and the pain I have now is worse than it was before. She would just know pain, type of pain, kind of. So I would give her a little bit of alcohol to help mellow that out, but it got bad. And she would, at middle of the night, and this was at the beginning of the waking up in the middle of the night and needing me. And so, yeah, I stopped having alcohol readily available in the house. I don't have to do that anymore. So Fur and I have been exploring alcohol, and yeah, it can be fun, but it's also, I don't need it, but it's something that I don't have to mitigate in my actions and reactions because of my accommodation to my mom. And I'm happy about that. I'm going to go back and make the bed now that it's where it's going to be for the next 3.5, 4 months. And then he's going to buy himself a new bed. The last one, it needed to be replaced anyways. That's all I'm going to say.